Good afternoon, Namaste India. Before I introduce myself, I would like to ask you to take out your phone and scan the QR code next to me. We will not have a Q&A at the end of the session. We will do this in a live environment with my colleagues in the background, answering your questions over WhatsApp. So we at MessageBird, we believe in eating our own dog food, and that's what we're going to do today here at RetailCon. I also want to extend my warm welcome to every attendee today. And I want to say thank you to the RetailCon team for inviting us, and a special thank you to Kumar for making everything happen. As mentioned, my name is Tim Krogel. I'm the director at Focus Markets for MessageBird. And you also will hear today during the event from my colleagues Vinay and Rutger. Vinay is our country director India for MessageBird, and Rutger is our CEO at 24 Sessions, a MessageBird company. So we at MessageBird, we want to live in a world where communicating with a brand feels as simple and natural as communicating with a friend. Whether you know it or not, MessageBird is powering 5 trillion customer engagements every year, which basically means that every human being on this planet is leveraging MessageBird at least 2 to 3 times a day on average. To power so many customer interactions, we need to have a global footprint. MessageBird has more than 800 employees working across 60 countries, including India. This is also one of the reasons why leading brands around the world are trusting in MessageBird and innovate with us. From brands like Heineken, Adidas, Domino's, Mango, Grab, Tokopedia, Pinterest, WhatsApp, or Facebook. I actually have a question for you. Do you think that your company is offering a great customer experience? If you now nodded in front of the computer, you share the same opinion with 87% of C-level leaders. Interestingly, the same research showed that only 32% of customers of those brands agree with this opinion. So whenever I share this fact, I get asked, Tim, what is the reason for that? And more importantly, what would you say is a great customer experience? And what does it look like? So it's not an easy question to answer. So I usually start with a recent experience of what a great customer experience doesn't look like. So my biggest challenge living in Singapore is my size in shoes. I have no ability to basically buy my shoe size. So I recently traveled back to Singapore, to Germany, and spent 7 days there. I didn't live directly in the city, and so I had to still balance my work life and also want to spend enough time with my family. So I knew what kind of shoes I wanted, and I hoped to get in touch with the store up front, basically the store where I always buy shoes when I go back to Düsseldorf, and basically just collect the shoes. So I looked up the store online to see if there's an ability to reserve or already buy the shoe. So I found the store, but only got a phone number. So I was, all right, let's call them. Because I called the store outside of the business hours, I landed in an IVR. Fun. Honestly, IVRs can be great if they're done right. If you want to learn how to do an IVR right, please go on our website and schedule a demo with us. But in many, many cases, IVR just simply a terrible experience. Just think about maybe your insurance company or telco company when you have to wait 20, 30 minutes in an IVR and you're actually not moving forward. Before I'm going to continue with my story, let me share a fact with you. So Forrester found out that contact centers that offer asynchronous messaging to a certain extent has been shown to be more cost efficient for enterprises. Also, Spark Central found that agents were 15 to 30% more productive via messaging. So as we're working with many large brands around the world, we can actually confirm that. We helped a large logistic company called Aramex to reduce their contact center costs by deflecting a huge amount of calls by implementing WhatsApp and Google Business Chat. So after waiting for minutes in the IVR, I gave up and called them back a few hours later, basically when the store was open. So I spoke with the sales rep and told him I would like to pick up the shoes after he confirmed they have the shoes, and I would come in the afternoon after visiting my parents. So I arrived at the store and the shoes were gone. Basically, another sales rep gave them away, and I was already frustrated, being honest. I asked if they could let me know when the shoes are coming back in store, and the answer was, yeah, they could do that. Um, I was great. Can you please let me know when they're coming? Maybe you can send me a WhatsApp or an SMS. So I think one of my flaws, being honest, is because I'm working in tech, I assume that certain processes are seamless. And yeah, it wasn't that easy. So the end of the story was the store was not able to send me a WhatsApp or SMS or call me. I should have simply to guess when the shoes are back in store. And this was obviously not a sufficient answer for me. So I took out my phone and I researched if there's maybe a similar store close by, because I was a franchise, and I actually realized there's a similar store very close to my parents. So I asked the sales rep to call them to see if the shoes are there and maybe reserve it for me. So the end of the story is I continued shopping in Düsseldorf, and I went to a different store and actually found them there. I found a different pair of shoes there that I liked and bought it. So I normally go to this specific store and buy my shoes there because they have my size. It's convenient. I know it. I know that I find my style and all those kind of things there. And they actually lost me this time as a customer simply because they didn't met my customer expectations. And I'm not the only person. So consumer behavior is changing. I think we all know that. And consumer behavior is changing in many different ways. To give you an example, when we're looking at calls, 80% of your consumers actually want to avoid phone calls. 75% of your consumers would prefer to communicate with you over messaging. Yeah. So consumer behavior is changing. And I think one brand that really understood that, and for me, this is the best in class example on how to transform your customer engagement strategy digital is Matahari. Maybe just to pick up just one use case, what Matahari does is, so Matahari engages with their customers along the whole customer journey, from customer acquisition over marketing messages via WhatsApp to customer retention or other forms of customer engagement, like, for example, a nice note over your birthday, also via WhatsApp. And a huge upside of messaging is that customers will become more active in the engagement with your brand, from scheduling appointments with you or actually making purchases through their communication channels. So we believe brands need to start thinking about how they can actually build strong customer journeys that include an engagement strategy, from winning new customers to retaining existing customers. We also understand that companies are facing very complex problems, like, for example, data silos, scattered communication, and those problems, they're actually creating more headache. Like, for example, additional cost, many vendor overlays. I spoke yesterday to a customer that told me they actually have more than 25 different communication vendors. And the problem was it became such a huge complexity that the CTO decided to rip and replace everything just with one vendor. And I think this is where we can actually help a lot, because we believe that, like, with the platform we're offering, we can actually empower you as a brand to only use one platform and create synergies across all the different channels and data touchpoints. So we can help you to automate and streamline processes while actually integrating into your existing solutions you already have. So you don't need to rip and replace your Slack or Salesforce. We can just simply integrate our solutions into that. And when we're looking into our product stack and the solutions we're offering, we have at the basic layer our super network, from SMS to voice to phone numbers. So basically, you can use SMS to send one-time passwords or you use voice for your contact center, you're obviously going to need to require phone numbers. We're offering SIP, HLR, SMPP shortcodes. And on the layer above that, we have our channels. From push notifications to email, by the way, we are facilitating more than 40% of all emails, to WhatsApp, Apple Business Chat, Instagram, video, and many, many more. And the tool layer on top of that are super interesting. So we have the orchestration layer. We are offering out-of-the-box solution. We have a very low-code tool, which is called Flow Builder, that allows you to drag and drop workflows, communication workflows, to AI solutions that allow you to understand the intent of the message a customer sends, or to process your natural languages. On top of that, we're offering solutions like, for example, Inbox is our contact center solution, an Omnichannel widget, which is basically a widget you can put on your website to get in touch with customers, campaign builders, and much more. So coming back to how a great customer experience would look like. So let's imagine the store would have used MessageBird, and I would have been able to engage with the customer here over the chat. By using our technology, the store would have understood what I'm looking for and share with me the product. I could have either bought it or reserved it. Or in the case in the store where I actually was looking to come back, they could have just simply added me to a reminder that as soon as this shoe comes back in store, it gets sent out to me and actually get driven back into the store, which is an upside for stores, right? Driving back traffic into those stores. So what I like is companies like Tokopedia are leveraging our technology to actually drive and increase their own KPIs. So while Tokopedia is operating at the highest level, they were actually able by, and this is a new solution of WhatsApp to send marketing messages over WhatsApp, they were actually able to do that and increase their click-through rates on their marketing campaigns, which is super exciting to see, right? If a marketer understands, well, we can increase our click-through rates just by simply choosing a different channel. I think another great example of creating superb customer experience is Guzman y Gomez, or also called GYG. And not just because they almost use every single product of MessageBird, but also because they allow their customers to use their channel of choice, from Google Business Messages to WhatsApp to Facebook Messenger or Instagram. And this also has huge impacts to the business line of Guzman y Gomez, as you can see here. I really like the quote of Josh Bell, the principal and general manager of Guzman y Gomez, is pre-MessageBird, our communication was slow, clunky, and sporadic. With the implementation of MessageBird, our responsiveness is immediate, seamless, and simple. So we at MessageBird, we are offering a fully featured omnichannel platform that allows companies like GYG to implement omnichannel engagement strategies across all communication and social messaging channels. Yeah, so we basically make it very simple for companies like retailers and F&Bs like GYG to use those channels. And Guzman y Gomez is able to let their customers choose how they want to engage with the brand, which is a huge, huge upside for their end consumers. So how are brands like Guzman y Gomez doing that? And one of the tools they're using is Flow Builder. So with Flow Builder, it's basically our low-code visual drag-and-drop automation tool. Companies can create a customized and excellent automated experience across all communication channels. So simply said, Flow Builder allows customers to just simply drag and drop certain workflows to engage with the consumers. So people like myself that don't have a technical background have the ability to engage with the customers. As you can see here, you can embed our Omnichannel widget on your website, which allows to engage with you as a brand via live chat, or if a customer wants to move on to a different website or wants to move on in general via WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or any other channel. When we're looking at our AI capabilities, so automation of all incoming messages is crucial for giving immediate responses. And When we're looking at how chatbots are designed, many of them are clunky and frustrating. So we can help you actually using our smart AI to detect sentiments and also to process natural languages. You can also use our platform to train the bot in real time to ensure your customer always receives the correct answer. Over time, you will also find that many of your customers ask the same questions. We actually have a FAQ bot that lets you build a question answer depth so you can give clear, conscious, and immediate answers. There will be instances where a live chat with a real person is required. So our smart AI can detect it or based on your workflow, and you can pass those conversations into our contact center tool called Inbox. So we are coming to the end of our session. If you agree with 77% of CEOs in the US that the way customers communicate with businesses is changing, book a demo with us. Go on our website and book Talk to Sales. And we're going to walk you through a custom demo for your brand. Also, please make sure to visit the panel conversations of my colleagues Vinny and Rutger. And last but not least, thank you so much for attending, and I wish you a great RetailCon. All the best for MessageBird.